All right, hello everybody. Let's get things started. Let me jump in Discord. I am 1 minute late. Not bad. Usually I'm much later. Great way to start the year for this podcast. But hello everyone. It is time to ruin movies. It is back. It is back, and we are back. Jump in the hot tub. The recording studio known as the hot tub. Got some movies to talk about. Some movies to ruin. Yeah, we're also going to be talking about what we thought of the movies that came out last year and what we think is going to be good this year. Just make sure I got everything going. Ugh. I swear, it's like 10 degrees outside and it's like 15 degrees in my studio. It is very cold. My hands are... I need like fingerless gloves to stream with. I don't even know if they make those. Gamer gloves. Jamer gloves. Opening notes. Okay. I really need to get some like catchy like podcast music, like an intro, because now we need to change our intro song.
Punctual as ever.
Oh, I was just talking about how I was only 1 minute late, and that's a good change for the new year.
Oh, well, New Year, same me.
I mean, 3 minutes late for us is not bad. For this podcast, 3 minutes late is not bad. 3 minutes is early for us.
True.
Just like the movies that we ruin, it's okay to miss the trailers, which is us talking for the first 2 minutes.
True. Ironically, though, I would never show up late to a movie, and 9 times out of 10, I'm actively trying to hit them trailers. So
I'm like always like 15 minutes early, like first person in the theater.
I try. I will say, though, I have a movie-going partner who isn't quite as prompt.
So
know
like
who you are.
I get so much anxiety when I'm supposed to meet people at the movie and like the trailers are going and they're not there yet. Just like,
Dude,
what am I gonna do?
In the parking lot for your ass, I'm sweating.
Am I standing up? Am I gonna like wave you guys down? Like what? Gonna make a scene? All right, let's do this. Episode 26. Welcome back.
You in months.
Yeah, Shane and I have not talked in months.
Yesterday, okay. We're lying. Yesterday was the first time, though, in months.
Yeah, never. We never talk. It's not like a daily thing that happens.
We're just co-hosts.
We're just no friendships here, nothing else. Purely professional relationship. Let's get this thing started. Hey, everyone, and welcome to... I was going to say, like, the new and improved ruining movies, but nothing's really new and nothing's really improved. But it is 2022. Oh, that rhymed. It's not new, it's not improved, but it is 2022.
Nailed it.
Yeah, but anyway, let's I'm trying to remember the intro. I didn't even remember the intro when we used to do it weekly. Hi everyone, my name is Zach. I am the host, and along with me, punching holes in floors, fighting fellow movie ruiners as we go up the apartment building and then back down, is my co-host, Shane.
That's me. I'm the other guy.
That's a spoiler alert as we're doing martial arts through the apartment building.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you know, the movie we're ruining. We are ruining the Raid Redemption this episode, which will be the second time it's being ruined today. The first time is when the announcement came out that Michael Bay is remaking it in America for Netflix. That came out today. That came out today.
It's so funny because we were just talking about him last night.
We were, yeah. So, I don't think we can ruin it as much as he can. Okay. We'll talk about this before we get into the show. Like, I know everyone hates Michael Bay's directing style, and I get it. And this sounds like I'm about to defend him, but like, I'm not, because out of all the directors they could pick, I've never thought of it like, yeah, Michael Bay has really great choreography fight scenes.
That's the one I want. Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, glass doesn't explode. That's all I'm saying.
Right. If I'm looking at Michael Bay,
you know what I'm talking about.
I've seen every Transformers, unfortunately, even the ones with the dinosaurs, because
one stands out in my mind.
Yeah.
They like jump out of a skyscraper window and it explodes. There's like sparks and flames and stuff everywhere.
Right.
And yeah, that's not what happens.
No, it's not. Michael Bay whenever I see a Michael Bay movie, I'm like never like, wow, that was a cool action scene. I'm just like, wow, those explosions sure were explodey.
Yeah. Boom.
Why did that garbage can explode? And why did you have your daughter? Wait, no, that's Armageddon. Wait, that was Steven Tyler's daughter having a romantic scene with Ben Affleck's character while her dad's song was playing in Armageddon. That's the weird thing that happens. That's the weird thing that happens in that movie.
That was weird.
Right?
That's
it's real weird.
Now that I'm thinking about it, how did I never make that connection?
It's a weird one. But hey, welcome back, everyone. I think the last time we did this was either October or November. We've been hibernating, but we're bad at hibernating because we're re-emerging in the middle of winter. Nice, you just watched it today. I watched it 2 months ago. We're gonna try to put this together. So if anyone's new here and is still along for the ride after all that nonsense we've just been talking about, let me describe what Ruining Movies is. It is a podcast in which we review movies and then ruin them by changing that movie's genre and by making it a remake, a prequel, or sequel. Some of my favorite things we've done is we've made Nightcrawler a Lifetime movie, which was pretty great. We switched Monster Squad and I Saw the Devil. We switched our genres, which made for a really interesting episode. So you get it. We're here to ruin movies. And if it's also a live podcast on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you're listening to this in the future, hello. Hopefully the future is not on fire. Come join us live and talk about movies with us.
And if you're here now, feel free to ask questions and chit chat.
Absolutely. Normally, right here, we would be talking about movie news, but because it is the first episode of 2022, I thought Shane and I can go through some of the movies we thought were pretty good last year and pretty bad and maybe some surprises. Kind of talk about everything, but not everything at the same time, you know?
Yeah, that does sound more entertaining than 2 months worth of movie news.
Because there's a lot, and a lot of it's like, wow, Marvel's putting out stuff, and so is DC, and there's a lot of Uncharted trailers. All right, so let's talk about 2021 and the movies that were in it. I was looking at lists today, for all the movies that came out. I was like, wow, that movie did come out, and it's like this, and then most of them was more like, wow, that movie was in theaters, but it was in the middle of a global pandemic, so I didn't feel comfortable going to it. But I still want to see it.
That does exist.
That does exist. I saw the Green Knight on the list. I was like, huh, I never saw that. But I was really hyped for that.
I never got to see Last Night in Soho either.
Yep, that was the second one, which I was like, wow, I have not seen that, but I really want to. It's on my list. So yeah, let's jump into our favorites. I have a list of 5.
Okay. You want to start? Because I don't
They're not in order or anything.
I didn't know how to make a list. I feel like there's some obvious ones we could just knock off the list right now, right?
Yeah.
Did you see Spider-Man?
Yeah, No Way Home is on my top 5.
I was gonna say, was it on the list? Okay,
it's on the list. That one's on the list. If you haven't seen,
it was up there for me.
Spider-Man, No Way Home. Spoiler alert for a minute or so. No, that movie ruled. I almost said ruined. That movie ruled. It was good to see Toby and Garfield back.
My man.
Which isn't weird that I said one's first name and one's last name.
No.
Toby Garfield. No, that ruled. I thought out of all the Marvel stuff that this year, there was a lot of things that were really hyped that really didn't hit the mark. I thought No Way Home hit that mark and generally got me excited.
I thought it nailed it. And on the flip side of that, I'd say for disappointments, I look, throw shade if you want, everybody. I don't really give a shit. I didn't really like the Eternals that much.
I haven't seen it yet. I know a lot of people do not like it though. I think
that's on the flip side for me, where Spider-Man blew me away. Eternals was just meh.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, I think No Way Home always was gonna do great unless they didn't have like even if the other two Spider-Man weren't in it, I think it would still have been pretty good with all the villains. But
Yeah,
like
it was solid.
I think like if you go back to old podcasts from last year, like we were like hyping up Eternals, especially me because of the director. But it does show you that like one director can do really good in their genre, but then they could try to do something else. Like I can't remember her last name. I just know Chloe.
Zhao, I think something like that.
I think so.
Right?
I think that is right. Like fantastic films, won Best Picture. Tries to make a superhero movie, did not land.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. So we're going through.
So yeah, we went
first.
Yeah, No Way Home. Yeah, let's do favorites first.
Okay.
So I had like actually 3 of these are horror films on my list.
Okay. Did we do a ruining movies on one? We're gonna play 20 questions really quick.
Yeah, I put Malignant.
Okay.
On
okay,
there.
dude. That. I almost wrote it down. But like, I also didn't write anything down.
Fair. So I almost wrote down something, but I did it on my. I got it.
I have like a list compiled over here of things that I've been watching over the last like 6 months and stuff.
For sure.
So I was just gonna pick some of them because there's some on here that are pretty fucking good.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought Malignant. I mean, I thought it was a surprise. I know that is also like a pretty controversial pick for like my top 5 because I know a lot of people do not like that film, but I thought it was so like crazy and just so like unique that I absolutely loved it.
It's definitely. Did it come out in 2021?
Yeah, it came out in this October.
Okay, it is, in my opinion, probably the best horror movie I saw in 2021, and
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Leads me to believe it's the best one that came out, but I didn't see them all. So
I mean, the only other one I could think of that I watched so I guess I also have
came out, I think.
Yeah, and I know Halloween Kills or Halloween the new Halloween. I don't even remember what it was called. I watched it. It was okay. It was very middle of the road for me.
Okay.
But I guess going off horror, I had the Fear Street trilogy in my favorites.
Oh, nice. That was actually not even like on my radar. I did enjoy it though when I watched it.
I should say like these films are like my top 5. Like they're not like these movies I think are the best movies, like the most well crafted,
Sure.
but they're the movies I enjoyed the best, and I really enjoyed how Fear Street handled itself with 3 movies each week and like playing in different time periods, and it was an R.L. Stine thing, which was really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, what else do you got on your list?
Recently within the last, I think it came out in like December or November. As you know, and a lot of other people know, I got real into Hunt Showdown, so I've been in like a Rudy Tooty cowboy mood, and a really cool like super stylized Western movie came out called The Harder They Fall.
I have not even heard of that.
It's on Netflix. I totally recommend it. It's got an all-star cast: Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors.
Okay.
Is really good.
I mean, it sounds good. I've been kind of like looking to like watch a Western lately. It's weird. Like we don't get too many Westerns now in like the 2010s, 2020s.
Right.
2000s in general, I can say. But like there are some like that like are really good, like True Grit. That, like come to mind that are like there is a Western that comes along every once in a while that is just
I just
stellar.
recently watched Young Guns and it was so good. Young Guns 2 was so good.
They did a
it's old, but it's good.
Yeah, they did a remake of Magnificent Seven too. That was pretty good in the last like 10 years.
That was
with Denzel.
This movie had Idris Elba, Zazie Beetz, Jonathan Majors, Regina King, Lakeith Stanfield. Like it's just like a huge, fantastic cast of people. That Damon Wayans Jr. Holy shit! That's
a huge cast.
Just fantastic, and it was great.
Hell yeah!
Described as a revisionist Western. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Nice. I'm talking about films that kind of like weren't really like that known, unless I was just totally zoned out for that film because I haven't even heard of that film, but it sounds awesome. I kind of have like a sleeper hit on my list too. Werewolves Within. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't even heard of it, no.
Okay, Werewolves Within. It came out this year. It is based off of the Werewolves board game. For anyone who's ever played that, it's kind of like someone's a werewolf. You have to guess who it is. But this was like comedy horror. The tagline was a whodunit with teeth. It was directed by Josh Rubin, who is not really a big name director, but he is known for like being a director for College Humor during like their heyday. And it stars Sam Richardson from Detroiters and I Think You Should Leave, and Milana Van Trube, which is I think the AT&T girl. That's I think that people wanted to play like Squirrel Girl. Her. I think it was like it's pretty damn funny. I really enjoyed it. I've watched it a couple times. And also has Guillermo in it from What We Do in the Shadows, that actor.
Okay, yeah.
And it was really good. It's a good whodunit. It's funny. It's kind of bizarre. I loved it. It was kind of a sleeper hit though. No one really like talks about it or watched it or anything like that.
There were some other picks that I think would have made it on the top 5, like had I watched them. Right. The Green Knight. Last Night in Soho.
Absolutely.
Pig. Pig is on Hulu right now. I just haven't watched it.
Oh, I need to watch that. I think the Sparks Brother documentary I've heard is amazing by Edgar Wright. I have not seen that yet, but I think that'd make my favorites. There was just, it was like that weird, like 2021, if we're being real, was like that really weird time where it's like movie theaters were opening up, but like no one knew if it was like cool to go to them yet.
And it seemed like it was like kind of a coin toss as to whether or not the movie you were pumped about was ever going to make it to theaters anyway.
Right, or like go to streaming or be in like a weird limbo where it's just not being released.
Because a lot of these movies, like The Matrix, for instance, was getting put into theaters and on digital. And at any point, like they could just pull the plug on theaters and just it's digital only now. And I feel like there was like a lot of that bobbing around, especially in early 2021. It was like, well, you know, am I gonna be able to go to a theater? Am I gonna have to just hope that it's on digital? Like, what will I do? That's kind of what happened with me in Venom 2. I was like, man, hopefully this shit drops on digital soon, because I don't particularly want to go to a theater in my area at this particular time.
Right.
And to segue effectively into the other part of this, that was on my negative list. Venom 2.
Venom 2? I have not seen it yet. I haven't even seen the first one.
I won't spoil anything, but for me, it was just, in one word, forgettable.
Yeah, that's fair. Going back to the No Way Home, we're gonna a little bit of spoiler thing. I saw the ending of like the after scenes for like Venom 2, where Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy, and Venom get shifted into the MCU. For No Way Home, doesn't appear in it at all, and then the end scene for the after credit scene for Spider-Man was him just teleporting back.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're setting stuff up, but it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, so the only good thing to come from that was a drop of symbiote, and I was like, wait, this was like a total waste of time.
It really was. It was like, wow, that was a weird setup.
I'm cool with it because I'm a Tom Hardy fanboy. I'm a Venom fanboy. It's cool to see these universes crossing streams. I think that's awesome. But like, it seems like there's a way simpler way to
that seems like a really it seems like something I would do in a D&D campaign. It would be like, oh god, I need to like introduce this character somehow. Oh yeah, they teleported from another dimension and then dropped the MacGuffin and then teleported back. Whoa.
But
yeah. Okay, I got one more on my favorite list. Unless you have something to say.
I don't really, no.
Okay. Then I want to talk about least favorites. The last one I wanted to talk about was Nobody by with Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that in the very early days of the podcast.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty great. That came out early 2021. It was nice to see kind of like an average looking dude do the whole John Wick thing. Bob Odenkirk did an amazing job as like not a comedic actor, which I mean he's been doing so good in Better Call Saul, so it wasn't too surprising. Christopher Lloyd was in it and it was pretty great too. I just highly recommend it. It's a good action film that feels like more grounded in reality.
Okay.
With real people, but also has a little bit of that like John Wick flair. Talking about flair, I think it's time to move to our least favorites, unless you have any more on your favorites.
I liked Don't Look Up, but I don't know if that came out in 2022.
That technically did, and I also liked that. I watched that actually technically 2 nights ago, but it did come out in December. I actually enjoyed it a lot too. I mean, there's a lot of people like saying like, oh, it's very like on the nose, but I mean that it is what it is. That's the world we live in. Like you don't need to be nuanced about it. Like if you're gonna create anything about right. It really is. It's like you can't really be nuanced about like the thing that is happening every day to us. Like sometimes we just need to laugh at and look at what was happening to us. It is comedic, but it is also pretty serious. I thought the ending was really done well. It had a lot of really big name actors in it. And
a little biased because of all the Michigan stuff.
Right. But I thought it was pretty good.
That doesn't actually do anything. My bias doesn't mean shit. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I liked it.
Take place anywhere.
I liked it. Like I said, people. I know it was created by the same people who made Succession, and I've been wanting to watch that.
That keeps popping up for me. Like
everyone's watching it lately. All right, least favorite. So this movie, I definitely hit my least favorite movie of the year. Do you think you can guess? Do you think you can guess it?
No.
It came out in May. Army of the Dead, everyone.
Army of the Dead, yeah. I knew I was... 1 second. I needed 1 second.
Yeah. I really hated Army of the Dead. If you've listened to this podcast, you know that. It just had so much potential, yeah.
But did you watch Army of Thieves?
That is actually on my pleasantly surprised list. Army of Thieves is number 1.
Yeah, that was a weird flip for me. I went into that begrudgingly and walked away like, oh, that was kind of all right.
I like legitimately showed my like brothers and my dad Army of Thieves. I would never show another human being Army of the Dead. But,
I would tell people to not watch that shit.
Right, but like Army of Thieves was like pretty good. I really enjoyed it for like what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, Army of the Dead, just so bad, and we're getting a sequel to it, and I really wish we would instead getting a sequel to Army of Thieves coming out soon. That's like coming up soon. I feel like that's coming out in like the next couple months. Army of Dead 2.
The Witcher's on my good list too.
Nice.
I forgot about that. But anyway, my bad list. So not necessarily like a bad movie, but a disappointment to me personally. A little bit kind of fell off my radar really hard was Mortal Kombat.
That's literally. I'm gonna hold up my notes to the camera right now. My 2 least favorites are Army of the Dead and Mortal Kombat.
Man, yeah, Mortal Kombat just fell really flat for me. I could see the value of like, let's have some beers, boys, and play board games and kick a movie on in the background that we don't have to pay attention to and we can laugh at like funny moments. You know, like I could see the appeal in that way, but other than that, like that movie completely fell flat for me.
It had the like I can't even remember the main character's name.
Cole.
Get Cole. I like it though.
There's only one reason I remember that. Shout out to the podcast and that whole channel. Like I just recently watched their kill count on that movie. That's the only reason that I know his name. Like that movie was so forgettable to me. The only things I remembered were like the cool fight scenes, and there was like 2 of them.
Right, and it just like still baffles me that like the main character of the Mortal Kombat movie wasn't even a character in the games.
Mm-hmm.
It was just guy named Cole, who was like the blandest character I've ever seen. Where like everyone else was pretty cool, but like it was just like I don't. Yeah, I think it failed.
Oh, and don't forget, there's no fucking tournament. They say
Right.
tournament 55 fucking times, and there's no tournament.
Do you think that movie's actually gonna get a sequel after like how much people didn't like it?
It's funny, like
they were setting up this tournament.
From what I understand, like it's still in talks. Like there's nothing confirmed.
Right.
Like you spend all this money, all this time, all this effort, and the word tournament 50 times, and you might not even get a sequel.
Right, exactly.
Man, it pays to write a good story. I tell you what.
It really does. It really does. You can't just like throw out. I mean, I guess you can just throw out crap. Army of Dead is getting 3 sequels, but
in a movie like Mortal Kombat, if your aspiration is to like have a bunch of them, you can't just dump a bunch of characters into it.
Right.
And, like, tell me that the next movie is going to be sweet.
That is, yeah. You have to have a good first movie. Which again, Army of Dead, I don't know what's going on there.
No, what the fuck? Okay, to be fair, like Netflix just throws money around. So.
That is true. And they did see Zack Snyder's name, and after the whole Justice League thing happening this year, people he has very dedicated fanboys. Very
if
dedicated.
I had a list, Justice League would have landed on my pleasantly surprised one.
I still haven't seen it. That's so long. I don't know if I will watch it.
It's long.
Got one more surprise, and that was the Muppets Haunted Mansion. I didn't know if Disney was going to ruin it or not, and I think they did really well with it.
Nice. I was going to include the Muppets on my favorite movies of last year list, but it didn't come out that last year, so it's just one of the favorite movies that I watched.
Yeah, I was debating about that because Phantasm would have made it.
Nice. Yeah.
Phantasm rules.
So my list is legit when I'm talking about what came out last year, but when it comes to like the favorite things that I watched last year, like Muppets is way the fuck up there.
Yeah, same. I feel like last year I watched a lot of older movies instead of current ones. Especially during October, I watched The Changeling, which is like now one of my favorite horror films.
Nice.
Phantasm rules.
Hey, on the note of old horror movies, have you ever seen a movie called The Curse?
No.
You should make a note of it, and you should watch it.
Okay, I'm going to write it down. The Curse,
because I went to Puerto Rico on our sabbatical. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And while I was there, in the late evening, there was this movie on, The Curse. And I was like, oh, I'll watch this since I'm here doing nothing right now. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, wait a second. This is just color out of space.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay.
So I started looking into it, and there's not one but 2 sequels that have the same names: The Curse 2, blah blah blah, and The Curse 3, blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
And they have all 3 of them have no attachment to each other at all. They just share the same.
Wow. Name. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I guess
the 3rd one has Christopher Lee in it. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I love that Christopher Lee does did a bunch of small horror films. Well, I mean, I guess Lovecraft did write that in 1905 or some. Well,
when I looked into it,
it was wrong.
Yeah, it's based off the short story by H.P. Lovecraft. And I was like, of course it is. As I'm watching this, I'm like, this is crazy. But it's so funny, watching it now after having watched the newer re-envisioned version of it, and then I went and listened to the short story, and then I go across the ocean, and this random ass movie comes on.
That's amazing. Hell yeah. Okay. I wrote it down. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Okay, so we talked about our favorite movies and stuff. I think because so much of the podcast last year was dedicated to the Marvel television series. I'm gonna call them the original 5 because those were the first 5 to come out, and we're not getting whatever the next one is for a couple months. I think we should talk about maybe how we'd rank those. And it gives us a chance to talk about Hawkeye, because we haven't had a chance to talk about it.
True.
To start off, oh yeah, go ahead.
My list is really quick, I think.
I think ours are very similar, but I would love to hear yours.
Loki and Hawkeye are tied for number 1, and basically everything else is kind of whatever.
Yeah, mine goes Loki, Hawkeye, What If, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and WandaVision last. But Loki and Hawkeye, I legitimately was debating for most of the day, and I was just I don't know. Loki was really cool, but Hawkeye honestly was probably my favorite. Hawkeye talk about like pleasantly surprised. There was no reason that Hawkeye was as good as it was.
Right. Yeah, we talked about it before, how I was like, this is probably going to fall into that little area of like spy thriller. And it did, but they fucking nailed it, man.
They did. They
And,
did. They had like the Die Hard feel to it. We got Kingpin back, which was amazing. We got introduced to Echo. It just,
so
yeah.
we spoke earlier in 2021 about like the implications that these shows put out there.
Yeah.
And like how Loki had the most serious implications on the universe so far.
Absolutely.
Like, out of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you got a new Captain America. Okay. And like out of
like what if you got stuff?
You got Wanda doing her thing now. Okay, there's a new Vision. Right on. It's kind of sweet, but like
she's angry.
Loki had gigantic implications across the entire multiverse.
Right.
Right. And then this show, Hawkeye, arguably had like implications of like equal value, just in a total different way.
Just in a very minor way.
The way they brought in like the Netflix series people, I guess. Spoiler warning for anybody listening in for the next 30 seconds. Beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop. The way that they're intertwining these Netflix shows, like with the Matt Murdock drop and stuff, it's subtle, it's fantastic, and it's not like universe breaking, but it opens so many doors.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I mean, if talk about No Way Home for a little bit. I think I was more excited to see Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock than seeing the other two Spider-Men. When he catches the brick and he's just like, I'm just a really good lawyer, it was like, he's back. He's back.
Yeah. It's just so when good. I saw his face, I was just like, holy shit. What?
I wish we got more of him, but I'm okay with even that like brief glimpse of him just like being there catching a brick, just like being a cool guy. I love Daredevil.
So and then like just the way that the things were laid out, right? So you get Hawkeye on the week before the week that No Way Home drops. Hawkeye comes out and gives you this snippet of Vincent D'Onofrio, and you're just like, oh shit, like, is this real life? Is that really him? Like, who the fuck knows? And then like that Friday, if you were that type of movie goer, I waited till the following Tuesday, $5 matinees and free popcorn at my local theater. If you were lucky enough to get to see No Way Home between those two Wednesdays of Hawkeye, you had like confirmed this idea in your mind that Hawkeye kind of like snuck in there, and you were like, oh shit, it's all real. And then the following Hawkeye just like hammered it home.
Right. I mean, oh my god,
it was so good. It was so good.
Vincent I can't remember his last name.
D'Onofrio.
Is like the perfect Kingpin. I think him and like Charlie Cox, like I don't think you can replace those two actors as those characters.
No. I'd like to see the same Jessica Jones and
the same Luke Cage, but not the same Iron Fist.
Yeah, that's
where I'm at too.
Kind of where it's like I like Iron Fist. I like Danny Rand. I don't remember that other guy's name, the actor that played him.
I don't feel too bad about saying that because like every interview I've heard is like the actor for Iron Fist like kind of refused to like get fit or do any of like the training for a martial arts character. So it's okay if we get a new one.
So you picked him because he had blonde hair. Got it.
Right.
Well, that'd be cool if they could rectify that. Like, but like I did enjoy the others as well. Like the Punisher, I thought John Bernthal did a fantastic job with that.
Right.
If they ever choose to bring that back. Like, I think that the implications of that small thing compared to the huge implications that come from like huge actions in Loki are like almost like a wider spread thing, right? Because now you have the potential to say that these other 5, 6 characters, 7 characters are like all canon, and the things that they did were canon, or at least they can say that.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, one last thing I want to talk about before we get into ruining the raid and talking about it. Any movies in 2022, like any movie that you're just super excited for?
In 2022?
Yeah. this year?
No. And it's
Fair.
not that I'm not or that I wouldn't be. It's just not something that I've invested the time into like thinking
That's fair.
about right now. Now,
Totally fair.
off the top of my head, it's like, okay, we've got some Marvel movies coming out that I know of. That's all very exciting. I think Morbius comes out this year. That's going to be pretty sweet. What else is there in Marvel?
There's Multiverse of Madness. There's Thor: Love and Thunder.
Cool. Yeah, those are all very exciting.
Supposedly the new Black Panther, but like everything I've heard about that is like the production is absolutely a disaster. So
Sure.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be in that crew anyway, trying to replace Chadwick.
You know, I appreciate what they're trying to do, but like I do not envy them for that task.
No, that seems like a very, very daunting, like very soul wrenching task that they're trying to do.
It just seems kind of like a cop out for me to say, oh, I'm excited for Marvel movies because like they just come out every year and I like them. I'm always excited for them. So I think it's just safer for me to just say like no, because like obviously I'm excited about Marvel. Everybody knows I love Marvel. It's something that's just like I'm gonna go see it. It's gonna be a thing I do. I'm just like innately excited about it. But there's nothing beyond that scope that I've like looked into or heard about. Maybe does Uncharted come out this year? Because it does. Pumped about that.
Uncharted comes out this year. The Batman.
I don't know why I'm pumped about it. That was how I described it. I was like, I am unnecessarily excited about this.
I'm very bland. Like they would have to surprise me with Uncharted. Right? They would.
Reason I should be excited, but
everything we've got
I played all those games.
Right, that would be like the only reason because everything we've got has felt so generic. Like like the movie would have to like I would have to hear like amazing things about it to like even think about like going on my way to like see it in theaters. I'm
guessing it's gonna have the same effect on me that like the Tomb Raider movies did, right? Like,
right.
I'm so excited to see these movies. Why are you excited, Shane? You know they're gonna suck. Well, I played Tomb Raider.
Right, exactly.
Like that's where I'm at with that.
Oh my god, I'm looking at this list.
Hit me with some because like I have not. My radar has been so closed. I've been like I've been doing other stuff the last couple months.
Definitely.
You know.
Well, I just said, oh my god, because I thought Top Gun already came out, but I guess it's not coming out till May of this year. I swear that it came out already. Right?
Still gonna do that?
Right? Okay. The ones I'm excited about are the number one that I'm most excited about out of anything is The Northman, with the new Robert Eggers movie. It looks fucking amazing. We got the trailer for that. It looks so good.
Yes, it does. You posted that recently. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, there's another Blumhouse film coming out called the Black Phone, which is a story written by Joe Hill, so Stephen King's son. Okay. Which cool. I feel bad every time I bring up his name because then I like obviously didn't take the last name King to not be associated with his father, but every time I say, oh, Joe Hill, Stephen King's son.
Yeah, you know that guy, Stephen King's son.
Yeah. This week Scream is coming out, which could be good. The weirdest thing happened today. I was driving around. I had to run some errands, and there was a Scream bus.
What? Like a school bus?
No, it was like a fancy ass like celebrity bus, but like it looked like a Scream production bus. But like I don't know why it's here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm trying to think. Are any of them from Michigan?
I mean Matthew Lillard, but like that would be a crazy surprise if he was on this one.
Like the playback right now, my head just turned like 180 degrees.
Right, it's like if he is in that, then like I just got spoiled by seeing a bus in the road, and also spoiler for the first one, he dies. So, and then the last one I'm really excited about is I think the Batman's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look very promising. It actually comes out really soon too, and you can watch it on HBO Max.
Oh, can you really? That makes me so excited.
Yeah, pretty certain.
I think Paul Dano is going to kill it as the really creepy Riddler.
Dude, Paul Dano, that guy.
It's gonna kill everything.
Yeah, that guy. His career, he's already huge and like can do anything he wants. But I have a feeling like after this movie, like his next couple movies are probably gonna fucking explode.
I hope so. He deserves it. I guess the next Spider-Verse Part 1, Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 is supposed to come out this year, which if it does, that's probably going to be in like top movies I'm excited for.
Yeah, you know what I hate about that though?
It's a
like
part
the
one.
the first thing I thought is like, man, that ending is gonna piss me off probably.
Right, absolutely.
It's gonna be just like the end of Infinity War or something, where it's just like, fuck! Now I have to wait like 5 years!
Yeah, that's the thing too, it's animated. It's not like they could film it.
Right?
Oh my god, Avatar 2 is coming out this year? I really don't care about that, but I didn't think it was...
My brain just said, fuck! Again!
I don't think Avatar's ever gonna come out. That's just like... in my mind, like, you can tell me it's coming out tomorrow, and I'm like, no, it's not.
No, shut up.
For some reason, it's not going to. What are you talking about?
Oh, man. I can't believe that it's like a real thing. That movie was on my TV the other day.
Avatar?
Like,
I have not seen that film since like 2011.
I have not seen that movie ever.
The only reason I saw it is because it was like, watch this in super duper James Cameron IMAX vision, which was like the only reason I would ever watch it again.
Yeah, did you see Spider-Man in IMAX?
I did not. I just saw it in regular theater.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Any last words on the movies coming out or 2021 or Spider-Man, Spider-Man? Any last words?
Over.
It's the new year.
No, 2021 treated us right. You know, we had some good picks for movies and podcasts, and we talked about some awesome stuff, and some cool stuff came out. It was good. Right,
and we can only go up from here. I'm excited to see what movies we talk about, and I don't think we could have started with a better movie to get 2022. Oh my God, it's 2022, not 22. Get it pumped
punching
up.
Our way into the new year.
Punching our way into the new year. Fighting our way through 2021. Get it. We're now in 2022. We're now, they're coming in the doors. We have to punch holes in the floor. They didn't actually punch holes in the floor. They used an axe, but I like saying they punched holes. They kind of punched holes. Let's talk about the Raid Redemption, everyone.
Dude,
this movie rules.
This movie was, there's so much yelling.
There's so much yelling. There's not that much dialogue. Let's go through for anyone who hasn't seen the Raid Redemption. It came out in 2011. It is an Indonesian martial arts film. It is translated to the Raid Redemption. And I always thought like the redemption part after the raid makes it seem like it's a sequel or something, but it's not. It's just the Raid Redemption. I think in Indonesian, it is actually called the Deadly Raid, which I think is a really cool name.
Very appropriate.
And very appropriate. It was directed by Gareth Evans, who is a Welsh director, and starring, I've been listening to this name all day, trying not to get it wrong, Aiko Awase, or Aiko Awase, it's either an I or E sound, I don't know, who was in this film and absolutely blew up after it. He was, I don't know if I think he was in the Mortal Kombat movie, but he was like in the Snake Eyes movie. He was in the new...
It was the main guy.
Yeah, the main character, yes.
Okay, because I as soon as I saw him, I was like, I fucking know that guy. I've seen him in other stuff.
He was in the Star Wars trilogy, which I didn't even know that, the new one. I don't know who, because I don't really watch the new trilogy, but he was in that. He was in the Raid 2. He plays...
Was he Kung Lao?
No, but I think that's someone else who is in the Raid. The Raid Redemption.
The movie spawned a bunch of people to come into doing stuff.
And I can honestly say, if you're listening and you have not seen the Raid Redemption, I could probably argue that this is the best fight choreography in the last 20 years. Like, out of any movie. It is so good. But yeah, no, the Raid Redemption, it originally aired at, not aired, but was originally shown at the Toronto International Film Festival, and it was immediately picked up because how cool it was, and it was brought to America after that, changing its name to the Raid Redemption. This wasn't the first time Gareth and Aiko worked together. They originally worked together on a film called Moranto. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but it is a film I've seen, which I didn't even realize that. I have a buddy who's really into like Indonesian and Thai martial arts movies, and we used to like watch them. We would go, we worked together, and we'd all hang out, and we would drink and do other now legal things, and watch these martial arts films. And I was like, it's a really cool like traveling martial arts film where it's this guy wants to go teach his like style of martial arts in a main city, but like then a girl gets kidnapped, and it's like it's like more of like a drama martial arts film, but it's starring Aiko, and it's pretty great. So that was the first movie they did together, and then after that they actually tried to get a movie going, which was like sounds exactly like The Raid Redemption. It was like going to be about a large prison gang movie where someone's going to be fighting through a prison.
Okay.
So it's awesome. It sounds awesome, but very close to The Raid Redemption. But eventually we got it. A lot of people describe it as a martial arts film. Like I said, one of the best martial arts films of the last 20 years. The director actually describes it as a survival horror film. Which
this movie?
Yeah, The Raid Redemption.
Interesting.
Which, for our main character, it is very true.
Yeah, no kidding. This movie was insanity. Like, really I couldn't imagine having to deal with the shit that man dealt with. So, this is an interesting thing going on here. I don't want to butcher his name either, but I'm going to try anyway. Yayan Ruhihan, the Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
He also
terrifying.
was in The Raid 2 and was also in Star Wars, and he was in John Wick Chapter 3, and I think that's where I recognize him from.
Yes, he was in John Wick 3.
Man, this movie just it breeded like a bunch of careers,
which is awesome.
Cultivated would be a better word.
Right. Absolutely. I think even the director started to get more work.
I knew it.
Huh.
Fucking not Kung Lao, but Bi-Han, Sub-Zero, was in The Raid.
Was he Joe Tasman? Was he Jaka?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, man. he was like, yeah. So, like I said, The Raid Redemption is probably one of the more important martial arts films of the last 20 years, one of the best ones. It spawned a lot of acting careers. Gareth Evans, who was the director, also got a lot of work from it. He actually he got a slot in VHS 2 after that, which is the dream. He wrote The Raid 2. He directed... did he direct The Raid 2? Yeah, there was also Apostle. He did Gangs of London, which I never saw.
I've heard of that. I heard it was good.
Aiko also
Apostle? I love that movie.
Yeah. Aiko also got like a lot of work from this. I think he's actually in the Expendables. No, he's in the Expendables 4. So I feel like that kind of cements him as a and he was in cool. Snake Eyes, the Hasbro movie that I didn't see. Man. And The Night Comes for Us he was in. And Mile 22. He was just... And Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
Yeah, dude, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this movie genuinely cultivated a lot of these people's careers into, like, something that was, like, truly growing and, like, viable for them, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
For a lot of these guys, this was, like, the first movie that they made.
Yeah, like if it wasn't their first, like they were making short films before that, then or like completely indie films, and like it's kind of crazy. Like depending if you like Star Wars or not, it's still a crazy feat to go from making an indie film being debuted at the Toronto International Film Festival, which is a big film festival, but then going from there. Making a sequel, and then 3 years later being in a Star Wars film.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's huge. So let's talk about. I guess these notes I just added before it came in. We are getting a remake. A second attempt at a remake, though. Originally, they tried to remake The Raid Redemption in America in 2014, and it was supposed to star Chris and Liam Hemsworth. Right?
So the great thing about this movie is that like the twist, right, is pretty
the
subtle.
brothers, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty subtle. You don't really know what's gonna happen. How the fuck are you gonna hide that?
The two Australian actors that look very similar.
They're basically fucking twins.
Yeah, exactly. For those who don't know, when we talk about the movie, we'll talk about our main character as he is fighting his way through this apartment. He finds out his brother that he has not seen in a long time is also in the apartment, and he is a criminal now. And there's some tension there and drama there because he's like our main character is a member of the SWAT team. But yeah, if the Hemsworths are in it, it's like okay.
But to note, it's at that moment that the guy learns that his brother's there is also when you, the viewer, learn that this guy is in fact his brother. You start to put pieces together. You're like, oh shit, okay, it all makes sense. If it was redone with that, it's like the first 10 seconds that you see this other guy, you're gonna be like, oh well, that's his brother.
Right. Yeah, it's like just all right.
Oh, that is
so yeah, we're getting a new raid. Well, they're trying to remake it again, like I talked about at the beginning of this podcast, where Michael Bay is now like producing, and the director is Patrick Hughes. Patrick Hughes is most known for the Expendables 3.
Okay.
Not John Hughes, Patrick Hughes. If John Hughes was making this movie, I would be more interested because I'd be like, okay. Patrick Hughes directed the Expendables 3, The Hitman's Bodyguard, and The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which I heard are kind of funny, but I haven't seen it.
I actually remember watching the first one, and it was kind of clever.
Yeah, but he also did this is kind of a weird thing. He did a short film in 2008 called Signs, and that kind of feels way too close to M. Night Shyamalan's Signs to be named that.
They're just the same.
He made a short film about that film.
Shorter version of this.
Shorter. We lose the swing for the fences moral scene.
No,
the best scene
brings me back.
That's the best scene of Signs. So let's talk about let's break down the story real quick for the raid. It's a very simple story. This film is 95% action. It like literally
any time.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 5 minutes in the beginning where it's like slowly building up. You learn who our main character is, you learn what the mission is, and then after that it's just pure action, pure fighting for your life for the entirety of the rest of the movie. But it is a SWAT team becomes trapped in a tenement run by a ruthless mobster and his army of killers and thugs. So our character, who is part of the SWAT team, a younger member of the SWAT team, is going into this apartment to get this mobster. If you've seen Dredd, this and Dredd have very similar stories. But they're both some of my favorite action films. Similar
set pieces, too.
Yeah. So anyway, they get into the apartment, the SWAT team gets into the apartment, and they finally realize they are outgunned, outmanned. And this was not really a setup, but they find out like no one else in the police force knows they're there because the captain that is with them is doing this for like personal reasons. So they have no support. They're stuck in this apartment, and they have hundreds of people who are also good at fighting and have guns trying to kill them.
Yeah.
And that is the film. And I mean, then our main character finds his brother who was lost in there for a bit. He has to escape. Everyone in the SWAT team dies, but our main character pretty much. I think actually. And one other guy, exactly. He carries them out at the end. It's really hard to talk about what happens in this movie. It's just so much violence and so much combat. I guess, do you have a favorite part of this movie, Shane? Like favorite fight or anything?
I really liked when he had to do like that interesting like dance fighting when he was helping his injured friend and fought like 20 guys.
Yes.
I thought that was really cool. It kind of made me think of I don't know, did you see Shang-Chi?
Yes, I did.
Or like for anyone that hasn't seen Shang-Chi, any sort of like classical martial arts dance. I don't know the name of it, but it reminded me of the dance that Shang-Chi's mom and dad did.
Yeah, yes, I know exactly what you're
It's
talking
like
about.
very fluid and very smooth, and he was still just like brutally whooping ass. That was pretty cool. I like that part a lot. I like that this movie reminded me a bunch of times that most of these dudes are like just dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're just people that like live in this apartment, and then also it would casually remind me that it was a martial arts movie. So
Right.
you'd have these dudes that are like, I'm just a guy, and he'd get like punched in the face one time, and he'd be like, ah, god damn, I'm just a guy, I can't fight anymore, this is terrible. But then there'd be another guy that's like, I'm just a guy, and he'd throw like 20,000
Right.
punches.
You would become like Bruce Lee and would just like do some fucking crazy martial arts. It's like, okay.
He's just some guy that lived in an apartment nearby. Like, I don't know, that it
Yeah.
didn't like pull me out or anything. I just thought that was kind of funny. And I also really enjoyed the fact that our main character is anything but superhuman. Like, he absolutely gets his fucking ass handed to him.
He
Like,
is
throughout
at the end of
90% of this movie.
at the end of the movie. I'm surprised he's even walking, and he's barely walking at the end, but he does make it out. I think my favorite has to be the Mad Dog fight.
Dude, it was sweet. That was so brutal.
They just like the tension before it, where Mad Dog has a gun on our main character Jaka, and like he puts it down, and they just start fucking fighting.
That Mad Dog fight, yeah, that was cool. I honestly didn't think Jaka was gonna die there.
No, but
I don't know why I didn't think so, but it was good. It was really well done.
Yes. Oh, I said Jaka is our main character and Rama is. But yeah, he did die. I didn't think he was actually going to die. Yeah. I think the second favorite scene is like when like kind of early on and shit's getting real. Like when there's still like a lot of SWAT people left, like all run into an apartment and they realize they're getting mobbed and they find a fire axe and they just start chopping holes through the floor and are like fighting people as they're like going down the floors like through holes they're making.
Yeah, that was really cool. It almost reminded me of the Suicide Squad thing where he's like falling from floor to floor to floor. I was like, oh shit, are they about to just like go down 4 floors? They didn't, but
no, absolutely, it was so good.
I really enjoyed the scene where they were like hiding in the wall.
Yes, that's a very tense scene when there's the neighbor who is keeping them safe. Yeah. There's so many.
I like that a lot. I thought that was really cool, and they just. I like when a movie puts characters in like an awful situation, and then you, the viewer, are like, "What would I do in this situation?" And like 9 times out of 10, you're watching a movie and you're like, "Man, this person's a fucking idiot." Like I would have never done that. I would have thought to do this thing that's so much smarter because I am the main character in this fucking movie.
Right.
But these guys, like in movies like this, sometimes there are movies like this where you see what the main characters do, and you're just like, "Damn!" Like I would have never thought of that, and that was the way. That was the smart thing to do. You did it.
Absolutely. Rama is like, that's what I like about Rama. He's a very competent like person. He's smart. He knows what to do. It's like makes it realistic that he survived because any other person would not survive. Okay. Yeah. So. Raid Redemption, awesome. Okay, so this is the part where we ruin the film. Shane, if you didn't know, these last couple months I've been building a robot to act as a surrogate chat for when I forget to put out the polls. So we're going to try this new robot today. You
built it from scratch?
I built it in a cave with scraps, and I created the AI. I gave him a human face too, which is kind of weird. I don't know why. I gave him also like the ability to feel pain. But these are all things. So let's roll this. Let's use this random generator. I guess I need to give the robot a name eventually, but let's do this. Let's see what we are doing. How are we ruining this movie? So first genre, romance.
Nailed it.
Second genre, fantasy, and it is a prequel. It is
2 genres?
I think we mix it up with 2 genres. It's 2022. There's a lot of 2s in that number. I think we mix it up with 2 genres.
Okay.
So
you don't have to twist my arm.
Yeah.
So it's a fantasy romance.
prequel for the Raid Redemption.
What the?
A fantasy romance.
Got it.
Already? This one was hard. Yeah, hit me with it.
Oh, easy. Main character is the lieutenant.
Okay. The bad guy.
White-haired guy.
Yeah.
The only guy that didn't wear a police uniform to the raid.
Right, which was everyone else should have realized was suspicious.
Yes. I don't know why nobody else is like, man, this guy is clearly an asshole.
This guy's clearly setting us up somehow. He's not even wearing the cop uniform. We're all wearing the cop uniform.
Is this guy even a cop? Why is he here?
Anyway,
yeah. So he's got to be the main character, right? And it's got to be like the mob boss, same mob boss, is like kidnapped his lady or something. That's where the romance comes in.
I'm waiting for this, where the fantasy comes in.
Fantasy. It's a dream.
So you're saying the lead up to the Raid Redemption is the lieutenant has a dream that his lover has been kidnapped by Tama, the mobster. Okay, I'm sold, actually. This sounds pretty sweet. What's happening in this? So a big part of the Raid Redemption is the complex, the apartment complex, and I know the second one takes place in a prison. So what kind of building is he fighting through?
A hotel.
A hotel, a fantasy hotel. Okay. Where does the fantasy come in?
What would be this lieutenant's idea of fantasy? In a dream where his wife is being kidnapped by the local gang lord who has wronged him.
Okay. So I feel like you probably could get some cool, like, Indonesian, like, folklore going in this. I don't know too much about it, so I'm not going to butcher it here. But I feel like he's a greedy asshole who is also corrupt as hell. Maybe he thinks he's a hero and he's fighting his way through, like, demons or shadow creatures or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm the hero, and then he, like, gets it to the end, and it is revealed that, like, the mobster is actually himself, and he's the real enemy. And then he wakes up and he's like, you know what? Fuck that guy. I'm not wrong. He's wrong. We're gonna SWAT this building. Then the raid happens.
With guns.
Yeah, then the raid happens.
I love this, like, sort of, like, damsel in distress style, like, fight your way up the tower type of thing, right?
If we were doing a remake, this would be much easier because we could do, like, a very, like, fantasy, like, you could even, like, put The Witcher in this position and be like, there's a castle with all these bad guys. Fight your way through it and save whatever's at the top. Could it be treasure? Could it be money?
Guns and give this man a sword.
Crossbows. Oh, okay. So I've actually kind of going off of that. I started watching this Chinese show that's on YouTube. I can't remember the name of it. But it is pretty much. Do you remember 24?
Yeah.
It's 20. Yes, exactly. It's 24, but during, like, the dynasties of China, so, like, medieval, and people have crossbows and stuff, and, like, someone's going to do a terrorist attack, like, on the, I think, like, prince or something, and, like, it's, like, medieval 24, and it is actually pretty fucking rad.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I need to remember the name.
Really cool.
It's really cool. So I think, like, the Raid Fantasy remake, or even we could even do. I like the idea we pitched, but I have another idea to pitch too that just came to mind. The Raid Beginnings, and we go back thousands of years into a mountain town. Did they have mountains in Indonesia? Is that I know, like. There's other places, other countries in that area have, like, a lot of mountains. I don't know too much about Indonesia.
Let me Google.
Yeah, Google it. Some type of town in Indonesia. Maybe it's like a bandit camp, you know, like fantasy bandit camp. Some mercenaries have to, like, break into the bandit camp, which is, like, actually a really big walled off city. And, like, rescue, maybe they're, like, being hired by some local warlord to get, like, their son back or their daughter or something back. And then, like, we get the Raid Redemption, except the Raid Beginnings, and it's, like, old, like, ancient Indonesia, and, like, these people are doing like classic martial arts as they fight their way through like people with swords and crossbows, and they just like fight their way in, and like just a real brutal. I think a really like historical, like The Raid style film would be really cool.
It would be very cool. I love the idea of like ancient weaponry and stuff. Like when we watched Kung Fu Hustle, and they were using like classical martial arts weapons, like the rings on their wrists and stuff. I thought that was so fucking cool. There's also a lot of mountains in Indonesia.
Okay, perfect. Mountain town. So then we have the verticality. That's all I was looking for. Yeah, so I think that'd be cool. I mean, Ruined? Probably not. I think both of those would be great. I think an introspective film about YU's, the sergeants or officers. I can't remember what. Was he a lieutenant or a sergeant?
I think he was a lieutenant.
Oh, lieutenant.
Maybe he was a sergeant. I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know how rankings work.
I don't know either, especially in other countries. His like interpersonal like stuff. He's like, we never really get his backstory. So it'd be kind of
asshole.
Yeah, who like leads to like all this mayhem. It'd be awesome to like get that, but like also a super medieval The Raid would be super cool too. Okay, that's movie ruined, everyone. We did it.
Something.
Yeah.
American remake of Raid. Who's playing the lieutenant? The white-haired man, the out-of-place cop.
Christian Slater.
So Christian Slater.
I don't know why.
So fucking the finality of that statement, like, boom, that's it. Our man.
I don't know why Christian Slater's in my head right now. More serious answer, I think like Dolph Lundgren.
That was your serious answer?
Yeah, he seems
like...
Are
you just picking people from the Expendables now?
Every American action actor is in the Expendables. Or Bruce Willis. I think maybe Bruce Willis.
Did you see New Blood?
No, but I know Bruce Willis has like had 5 fucking films this year.
You haven't... Oh, dude, that guy just makes movies on movies. He's like Nicolas Cage. You just make a bunch of movies. You didn't see Dexter New Blood?
Oh, no, I have not yet.
Okay, well, I need to look up this actor really quick.
Oh, are you talking about, he's in Detroit Become Human?
Yes, he is.
Clancy Brown?
I recognized him from. Yes.
Yeah, I mean...
I think he's who I would pick.
Okay, I like it. Who's playing our main character?
Hold on. Please stand by.
Yep.
Simu Liu. Simu Liu.
That's
the guy that played Shang-Chi.
Okay, I was like, is that? Yeah, I mean, I like that.
He's so cool.
I really liked Shang-Chi. I really enjoyed that movie. Yeah, I mean, are we gonna get that with Michael Bay producing? No.
Hell no.
It's gonna be. Who do you think Michael
Shia
Bay's?
LaBeouf.
No, it's gonna be fucking
Bruce Willis. You were probably on the nose with like Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck.
No, who does Michael Bay always cast? He always casts
fucking Ryan Reynolds.
In the Transformers movies. Who's always? It's not Shia LaBeouf.
That other guy.
Who's in Uncharted? He's gonna be in Uncharted. Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. He'll probably be in it. Yeah, he'll probably be one of the guys. I bet you he's Jaka.
He probably is.
So you can have like an epic thing. What if it was just like... what if the main character was Will Ferrell and his brother was Mark Wahlberg?
Just like, that's
he
a
fights
comedy.
His way to find out that his brother's there, and the whole audience just like, man, fuck. The brother's in this movie?
Hell yeah. Okay, well, I think ruined in all the ways. I think we are... not as ruined as Michael Bay is about to make it. Why? This is like the Train to Busan thing. Why are you remaking this film? It doesn't need to be a remake, especially because it came out 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's same with that other movie that we watched, we've watched, not for ruining movies. What is it? Not VHS, but it was remade into something. I think it's called Quarantine.
Oh, the one that's like originally a Spanish film,
like Brazilian or something like that.
Yeah. It's not. It's called Quarantine in American English. Holy shit, American Or was Quarantine the original?
No, the original was in Brazilian. I'm almost certain because it was.
It's on the. It's called Rec.
Rec.
REC,
That's
yes.
So like record, yeah.
Yeah. That film was terrifying. The
that
remake,
was the first
not so
Quarantine
much.
Was a remake. Can confirm. But it's just like these movies that are like they do stellar in other nations' production companies, and then it's like America's like, oh, we just want to make this thing again so people don't have to read subtitles, and it's like, bitch, just watch the movie.
Right.
It's good.
And if anything last year proved, like, Squid Games was the #1 show. We like so that shows anything.
You can read.
You can read, you can do the subtitles, you can watch the films from other places because they are usually fucking great.
Right.
Just like we don't need a Train to Busan remake.
Just like we don't need a Raid remake. Like people can just watch this movie and enjoy it. This is another movie like Train to Busan that says so much with saying so little. There's pretty minimal dialogue, all things considered.
Right. There's barely any. It's all action. It's great. All right. Before I get more mad at Michael Bay, let's end this thing. Shayne, what are we watching for next week?
Oh, I think we should watch Old Boy.
Old Boy? Okay, hell yeah, going to Korea.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Is it in line with this like theme? And then anyway, it is like a fighting thing, right?
It is. It's more in line with I Saw the Devil though.
Oh shit. Okay, so maybe I'll change it. Like because I was thinking about Ip Man too.
Ip Man is really I like that movie.
I think
Old Boy is good,
Man.
but it's really dark.
Because Ip Man is like
we were talking about IP Man or Ip Man?
I think it's Ip Man.
Okay.
But I don't know. IP Man sounds fine too. Whatever. But I think like we were trying to do like
martial arts.
I always try to do like themes, but I wanted to pick Old Boy, but if it's not as spot on as Ip Man, then I'd rather do Ip Man.
Okay, yeah, I think Ip Man's a little bit of that. Old Boy it's just like it's BS. I'm pretty sure it's directed by the same person who I Saw the Devil. It's just really brutal.
Okay.
But it does have some good action scenes in it. Okay, so we're doing Ip Man?
I would like to do Ip Man.
Hell yeah, I have not seen that movie since like 2008, so I'm very excited.
I haven't seen it ever, but I've heard such good things over and over, and like that's the one.
There's like 30 sequels to it, but I'm excited.
It's like the one truly beautiful thing about this podcast for me personally. It like gives me an excuse to watch movies that I've been putting off for a long time.
Absolutely. Okay, well that was our first episode back, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was Ruining Movies. Let's do some plugs, and then get out of here.
Oh,
Shayne?
Me? You'd like me to plug myself? You can catch me live at Twitch.
Plug yourself, yes.
Bring the Shayne. That's where I play.
Bring the Shayne.
Stuff. On Mondays, we're doing fun stuff, trying to beat challenges, increasing our difficulty level exponentially all the time, and suffering for entertainment.
Yes, absolutely.
That's it.
I'm part of that too. Dummies play on Mondays. This is the year of challenges. We're going to become the ultimate video gamers by beating games that everyone else has beat before, but in very convoluted, twisted ways. That's what we do here. Okay. I mean, if you're listening to us in podcast form, go to our YouTube, Ruining Movies, to check out what we look like. That's always fun. We also will have clips from our older episodes. Also check out our TikTok, which that makes me feel so old saying, which also is Ruining Movies, which has clips on it. What did you say?
Come look at my TikTok.
Come look at my TikTok dances. Along with that, go check out my other YouTube channel, The Known Unknown, if you like tabletop games or Dungeons and Dragons. I make a bunch of short videos there. I'm also going to be starting to do some solo Let's Plays. I'm playing some solo tabletop games there and creating stories with it, so go check that out. Also, like as Shayne said, we're at Dummies Play Monday. You can go to Farm Goat Plays. That's where I stream that. We are doing challenges, and yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you guys are ready to get back and ready to ruin some movies. I'm excited to be watching movies and talking about them once again. I did miss it these last 2 months. And we are back.
I'm just glad to be hanging out with my friend.
Yeah, I'm glad to talk to Shayne, and we've never talked to each other ever. All right, let's get out of here. As always, that's it. Be excellent to each other.
Party on, dudes.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
All right, well,
No,
I'm gonna
but
end.
seriously, get the heck out of here.
Leave. The podcast is over.
I'll be talking to you in a little bit.
Yeah, probably. We don't have any post-credit scenes here in the podcast. Get out of here.
Get the hell out. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Exactly.
Podcast is over.
I'm legitimately going to end the stream now.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Yeah.
Or I'll be around in a little bit. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll probably be around too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.